Just all cheap talkers, smokes and clean suits talking. Come take a ride through my city and see how we living. You'll stop we're reporting. Ex-drug dealers out strapping, 40-year-old niggas out here rapping. You probably think he's good, but hold your applause, no clapping. Smiles turned down the mugs, plugs got traded in for slugs. Mug shots for a bounty post on the wall, but don't inform the buzz. This world is so not pretty. This world is more gay marriage. Brainwash a nigga for sugar. I'm looking like, where's my carrots? This shit's so appealing.
I just want to put one more thing out there before we go forward. I want to let the people know that when on these last uploads we did, I quarreled with putting these things up because of my language, but I'm passionate about how I feel about us as a people. Us first is my mentality. So when I get passionate about these things, it's not to have the vulgar language just to be vulgar. You know what I mean? Of course I can replace those words with intellectual words, but I choose not to because I'm very passionate about how I feel. And I don't mean no harm to nobody when I get to talking about your religions, but like I said, it's all facts over here. Whatever God you worship your God, but just know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So please forgive me if I ruffle any feathers by my language. I mean no harm. I mean no disrespect, especially to my sisters. I never want to turn you away. I never want to upset you. I love my sisters. And anybody who knows me, know that this is my fight is for the women and children. So if my language get vulgar, please forgive me, but I'm going to try to tone it down, but I probably won't. So with that being said, thank you. Go ahead, bro.
You're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. See, the problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening.
All right. Dick Gregory Jr., I appreciate it.
Silly.
But, I mean, it's tons and tons of topics that we can be talking about and stuff right now that's going on. One of the things we want to, like, focus on is, like, what's
solutions.
going on in like the daily news and stuff, what's going on in our world as it is today. But I want to bring something up, and if you want to touch it, let me see if you want to touch it. This is vulnerable, so I'm sure you might want to touch it.
Mm-hmm.
But and I've seen this. They had this story posted on a YouTube channel, and it's this transgender kid that was born a girl and wants to be a boy or identifies that she's a boy, so he's a boy. So her name was Jody, changed her name to Joe, and the Boy Scouts kicked her out because she was transgender. So they fought and fought and fought to the point where the kid, known as Joe now, is now back reinstated in the Boy Scouts. And they had a nice little story. They showed his parents. I'm not going to lie, man. Something looked wrong with the parents. They looked kind of weird. Like, I don't know if they was on drugs. I'm not a doctor, or I'm not an expert at that. I'm not even an expert drug dealer that can kind of know when somebody like under influence. But they just look weird. Our eye sockets look all kind of like black and drained and whatever. But the story is he got back in. Now the kid looked like they're about 6, 7 years old. So okay, 6, 7 years old, boys and girls, so if you cut their hair, you put hats on them, they can almost kind of be the same. I guess it depends on how the girl looks. But they put the story up, and I guess it's a end times type of news channel. And at the end of the story, of course, it was an end times news channel. It was probably Christian based, but they said they're a huge believer in the Boy Scouts, and this is an evil and a dishonor. Now, me, I say that Boy Scouts, when they're really young, I guess I don't really mean nothing, but I know some Boy Scouts that's like 12, 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
You start getting up into that age and your body starts changing, then what? You start getting, your breasts start to grow or your hips start to grow out a little bit and all that stuff, and you in the Boy Scouts with boys of that age. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, I want to ask first. I'm not familiar with the story. What are their nationality? What are they?
All of them Europeans. All the ones.
Oh, okay. So now it makes sense now. It makes sense now. And I want to put this disclaimer out there. I heard too. I'm just keeping it real. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it funky. You know what I mean? I got to. I got to. I want to address one little solid thing. People tend to think that I'm homophobic. No, I'm just pro-gender. Whatever gender you was born in, that's what I expect from that person. And I'm going to just put that out there first and foremost. Because I don't want to seem malicious or malign nobody, but at the same time, I got to keep it 100 with myself. You know what I mean? So my thing is all about what men do, and what women should do, what women should do as women. So back to that. With blacks and with Europeans, whites, Caucasians, whatever you want to call them, we are culturally different.
I'm one of those people that's so smart that I'm uncomfortable in this world. I know how flimsy this shit is. I can see through I can see the truth. There's an animal inside of each and every one of you. It's not good. Shit is real. Listen, I was looking at the paper the other day. I'm not making this up. There's a serial rapist in Houston. There's nothing funny about serial rape, but what is noteworthy about this particular rapist is that all of his victims have been men. Enjoy your evening.
Of course, majority of people that are of color are going to look at that and say, that's some sick shit. You know what I mean? Because you would allow your child to make those type of decisions, then you make that decision for them and let them go and get the operation to be transgender. It goes back to the parents' sick ass. You know what I mean? There's some sick ass people. Of course, we know their origin is of the sickness. They are sickness in the mind because they don't have the DNA makeup we have. So it automatically makes them fucking barbaric. And they think the things they do is naturally. Well, he was born this way. No, the fuck, no child was never born fucking gay. They may have some mental issues that they're dealing with at a young age that you can weed out. Because as Dr. Umar Johnson said, homosexuality didn't become okay and coined it was a sickness before 1974. If I'm correct with that date, somewhere up in there, it was classified as a mental issue. So now, since they put that on the back burner and put their pedophile, satanic, Luciferian way in American society, it's okay to be gay. It's okay to have these thoughts, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's not at all. So,
right, but
going back to that, there's one more point I want to get out because I don't want to make it look like we overlapping like the other conversations did. We have to identify and look at those situations, and if you're scared to speak on it, don't say nothing. But we cannot continue to condone these type of things because the barbaric society, Luciferian society that we know and we lived in forever says it's okay. So I'm always going to speak out against that, and I'm never going to look at it as right, and I'm going to look at it as you some sick fucks for taking your child through that. You look at all these Madonnas, Charlize Theron, all these white celebrities going over to the motherland and all those countries over in Africa and getting these little black kids and bringing them home and putting them in dresses, doing all type of weird shit with little boys. And then some of Brother Red Pill had brought up, shout out to Red Pill once again, he brought up, if you get a celebrity child, all the other celebrity childs hang out with the other celebrity childs. So where are these adopted kids at? You don't see them. They don't have no Snapchat. They don't have no Instagram. They not popular. You don't see none of them. You understand what I'm saying? So where are these kids? What's going on with these kids? What is going on with these kids? You know, why you going to get these black kids? We know why, but I'm generally spouting out to the people why, you know, to wrap your mind around that idea. And then we'll know why these Luciferian, barbaric, pedophilia motherfuckers do their thing. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand the enemy first. We have to know who we're dealing with first, and then we can kind of put some type of understanding behind that, what you're speaking on with the kid going to boy. You know, you got some people who speaking out against that, probably some far right wingers like, you know, what the fuck is this shit right here, Bobby Joe? You know, so.
Yeah, but they too scared to say anything about it. Just like the same people that was scared to endorse that they was voting for Trump during the election cycle, and then when the election came out, all these people, especially white women, because the liberals thought all the women, especially even the women of color, they was like, I'm with her. President Barack Obama was saying I'm with her. Everybody saying I'm with her. Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of celebrities, Beyonce, all them saying I'm with her. And then when the vote came, a whole bunch of European females that wasn't going for the quote unquote female agenda and went with the supposed quote unquote womanizer, grab you in your crouch,
grab him by the yoni.
Yeah, grabbing the yoni candidate because he was the one that's going up against the system. He's the one that is the nationalist. He's the one that's for a better country.
Make America great again.
Make it great again. Like okay, great again. Like when was it great? And then when it was great, what you comparing it to, what was great about it? You know? But going back. But yeah, a lot of people don't want to speak on that, so I'm like, we're gonna hit some real tough topics that people don't want to really talk about. That's the gay agenda because they got a powerful lobby, and then you got a lot of people that's out here that's saying that it's hate, and it's if you're going against anybody that's gay or transgender or what they call it, the LGBT.
Yeah, some of that nature. Yeah, LGBT.
Going against all of that. So it's not really going against all of that. But it's the fact that right is right and wrong is wrong. We hear this. I'm a heterosexual lover. I'll put a shirt on and say I love heterosexuals. Heterosexual pride.
Yeah.
They put gay pride. They got gay pride parades, and they happy as heck. And you got these heterosexuals around here walking around like, oh hi.
I can't say nothing.
Don't tell nobody.
You know, right? But it goes to another one of my kind of heroes. Tupac said, "You motherfuckers don't know what you want." You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers need to go sit their politically correct ass down somewhere. Because one minute is this. Because if you pro anything, that means you anti this. No, it don't mean that. That means I'm just like pussy. I'm a man. I'm supposed to like yoni. Excuse my language. Right. I'm supposed to like yoni. You know what I'm saying? The woman. Yes.
But I never heard that term yoni. Yoni?
Yeah.
That's the east side term, man.
No, it's actually I heard some of my conscious brothers say, and I went and looked at them and said, "Oh, that's the yoni." Well, the proper term for the yoni. You know what I'm saying? So but it's because you could do with it. My thing with that agenda is you see a man and a woman walking down the street, right? And the man, they having a romantic date. They walking up the street, and they may hold hands. They may get to a corner and may have a moment, and you might want to kiss your woman. You will have motherfuckers go by, get a room, man, get out. We don't want to see that in public. But you can have two men walking down the street with their shirts tied up in the front, with Kool-Aid on their lips and their face, holding hands past a bunch of children at a festival full of children, but that's okay. But if I want to stand on this corner and kiss my wife because we just had a moment, that's a problem. See, like I said, motherfuckers need to sit their politically correct ass down somewhere and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Because it's insane. It's such a double standard with everything. So
yeah, but I mean, like you were saying, because I want to make sure I kept that little point. I mean, I have gay I have gay people in my family, and I love them dearly. But I see it as this: just because I don't agree with them, don't mean I don't love them. Because I do love them. But I got people in my family that's criminals, and I don't agree with what they do.
But I still love them.
But I don't agree with what they do at all.
Right.
Some of them thieves. I probably even at my house. Hey, man, no, I'm sorry, bro. I got to love you from afar, baby. I got to love you from afar. So, I mean, I see it as the same thing. I don't agree with your choices and all that stuff. But you cannot tell me that you were born. A lot of people say that you're born gay. Well, we were born gay, so you got that right. So that leads me to another thing that I want to talk about that kind of go hand in hand in this. And it's this drug they call atrazine. You heard of atrazine?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I watched the whistleblower whole interview, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So atrazine, And atrazine is basically, it's a potent endocrine disruptor. And it affects hormonal activity on animals and humans.
Okay, give them that definition one more time so they can hear you clearly what you just said.
Atrazine is a potent endocrine disruptor.
Disruptor.
It's potent too. Not just an endocrine disruptor. It's a potent endocrine disruptor. It affects hormonal activity on animals and humans. So basically what it does is they tested atrazine in the laboratories on frogs. And the atrazine in low doses, not medium or mediocre or high dose, I'm talking about very low doses according to them clinical labs, on frogs. And it caused not only male frogs to start to like mutate and start gravitating towards other male frogs, it actually changed the whole sexual reproductive type of system to where they was able to even lay eggs after continuous experimentation with the atrazine chemical. Now, the atrazine chemical is in our water supply.
True. Facts.
You're right. And it's a doctor, and it's a brother doctor. His name Dr. Tyrone Hayes. He came up and stood up against the effects of what atrazine was doing and was saying exactly what it was doing to these animals, and that it could do that to humans. And they basically like silenced them and then just said, okay, you're done with this whole experimentation process. And he was working for this company called Syngenta.
Syngenta.
So Syngenta kind of knew it. And the CDC, they full of crap, man. The CDC is really full of crap. You know what, I'm really passionate about the CDC. The CDC, which is Centers of Disease Control.
Biggest terrorist group in the world.
Yeah, the people that, the doctors that was head of the Tuskegee experiment, they end up being heads of the CDC. Now, they long dead and stuff now, but that's what I think about the CDC. As soon as I think of the CDC, I think of the head doctors in the Tuskegee experiment, giving all them brothers in that county of 90-plus illiterate brothers and sisters down there the syphilis virus, to where they just keep them with syphilis and then to see what their effects was, even though they had to cure them, and they didn't even know. And of course, they use a black nurse, nurse to get them to get that treatment and become that experiment. But going back to atrazine, that's what it is, and it's in our water supply and stuff. Now, in fact, atrazine is banned in Europe. It's banned in Europe.
Whole other sissy.
So but they got it in our water supply. They're doing it with the chemtrails and stuff. It's just more than atrazine. It's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And with Syngenta and all that other stuff to try to eliminate that, it's all part of a global conspiracy. And it's if you introduce that drug atrazine to a woman that's impregnated, and they're getting it even at the lowest doses, it can change, disrupt, as it says, a potential endocrine disruptor, and cause hormonal activity changes in humans and animals. Now, depending on the human, you know, how the change will occur. You know, some, it might not affect too much, just like some people are immune to certain things, some people are not. But just that into our water supply and being sprayed up in the air and coming on our chemicals as far as on the plants and all that stuff, and our food supply, like as far as our poultry and our livestock and all that stuff. That stuff was introduced basically, like you said. He was talking about, like Umar Johnson was saying, like even before that you didn't see it as much. But then not just that, not with as far as the endocrine disruptor and stuff, but it's a whole bunch of other type of different diseases. And then Umar always talking about ADD and ADHD.